Okay, so as I have said ganina, no, nga chapter 1 is all about module 1 configuration sa switch. So we all know that um, katong how to configure, no? We have done that one sa packet tracer also. I know wala dili tanan ang naay packet tracer, so at least kanang makahelp ang inyong partner. Okay, naka-help ba? Why naningog? Nawa na namiya si partner. So, okay, thank you. Um, we are all familiar sa router, no? So if you have your connection sa balay and you have your router, naagi na siya kanang LED indicator, right? So ang switches also has that indicator kung kinsa ang mga ports diri ang naay connection. So meaning kung naanay mga nakasaksak diha nga mga usually sa RJ45 no cable, console cable, mga straight through cable, mga crossover cable depende again kung unsa nga device ang connected. So once nga there is a connected device there, musiga ni siya kanin. These are the kung na makakita mo actual nga switch, dili switch nga kanang nasa inyong balay on off ninyo haya musiga mo off mo, siga mo off din na mao daghan na siya og ports. Okay? And then, kung naay naka-connect nga device na niya, musiga ni diri meaning there is a power connected to that one. So, kung ang iyang siga is amber, kung ano lang orange, kanang murag medyo not green, no? Green man, yellow-green man na siya. Kung sa router pa, yellow. So, kung naay connection, pero kung lahing color, meaning naay connection, pero wala siya ni function. Okay? Naay power, pero the functionality is not, it's not functioning well. Ay na. So, of course, if it's off, walay connected nga part. Okay? So, mo na siya ang kanang description. So, system crash. Again, murag ka ng, this one, you will use a PC for this one to configure a switch and to know if there is something ay muhang usbo ni change mo, alter ni mo ang initial nga configuration sa switch. So, these are all the commands, no? And then, ang kani nga mga IP addresses na makita raman ninyo sa inyong system. Okay? Okay. And then, mga importante lang akong ikuan ha. So, we also have that privilege exit mode, no? And then, katong um, interface mode. So, kung maka-remember pa ta ato, and then you have done this one. Okay? So, duplex communication. So, the ports of a switch can be configured independently for, of course, different needs. So, if you need that port for kadaghanan man gud sa switch, kay ato lang siyang ikanang connect to a device, an end device that will be commonly PC and a router, commonly usahay bridge, usahay repeater. So, full duplex communication, it increases the bandwidth of your device, no? By allowing both end-to-end device to transmit and receive data simultaneous ang iyang pag-receive. That's why it's much more faster if simultaneous. So, unlike sa siya, while half duplex is unidirectional. So, it creates a performance issue because data can only flow in one direction lang. So kung upload ra pod siya. Kung transmitting, mo transmit ra pod siya. After transmitting, mo stop siya kung mahuman nag-transmit, and then iyahan na pod tong i-priority, murag na siya i-prioritize kung kinsa ang naunang request. So kung receiving, mo receive ra pod siya. Dili siya simultaneous nga maka-receive, maka-transmit. Okay? That's the full duplex, no? Bidirectional, half duplex, unidirectional. Now, it can only receive or send. Okay. Again, you can appreciate this more sa lab, no? Dili na lang ko na basa-basahon ha. So, if we are, I don't know if you've done cabling. So, supposedly that will be sa CISCO 1 nga you make straight through cable and crossover cable. So, I don't know kung nakatry na mo sa inyong senior high, ana. Okay, so those cables will be used sa pag-connect na tong mga end devices. It can be switched to switch, it can be switched to PC, switch to router, something like that. Nya, um, ang kana nga mga classification of cable, napo na siya dili tanan nga cable is applicable to that device. Depende again sa imuhang i-connect. Okay, so these are the commands sa switch, no? If you want to verify kung unsay connected nga interfaces, unsa nga version, unsa ang MAC address sa imuhang switch nga gigamit, and then the ports that are being connected and configured. Okay, show interfaces and whatsoever. So the output from the show interface will be this one, no? Kinsa ang mga ports ang app, so meaning connected. Okay? So these are some errors, no, that will be encountered if there is functionality issues. So input error, runs. So these are the description. Kadaghanan na no kanang mga input error. So interface and output error. So input error is the sum of all errors in the datagram. No, that is being received when you examine the interface. So it includes runs, giants, the CRC or no buffer, frame, and so on. And then again, you will use this command to know kung na ba error sa iyang connection. And then output error, that's collision in the duplex, half duplex if it is operating in normal mode. So naara kay madawat nga error, collision error. Late collision refers to a collision that occurs after 512 bits of the frame ang na-transmit. So since this is kanang using a cable, so when that data travels, it's by bit, right? So signals gina siya. After 512 bits of that frame, no, packet or frame ang na-transmit, kung naay error sa imuhang output, no, that's the uh, late collection or output error. So troubleshooting network access. So again, you just type, no, sa iyang config ang as exec mode ang this command, and then there will be mga i-show niya kung unsa ang status, no, na by problem or not, okay, sa imuhang interface. So if the interface is down, so if there is a problem in your interface, this is what you're going to do. So check the your switch and the cabling, if it is properly connected or not. So, mailhan man na ninyo again sa um, LED indicator. So, check the cable kung wala by damage or are you using the right cable for the right device. Okay? Others ana kanang mga kanang once manggod nga mag-cabling ka, dapat naka connected gyud ang katong murag copper sa UTP no ngadto sa imuhang RG45. So kung naay mga lost connection, um na mao pud na siya one of the reason nga naay mga error or ang functionality sa imuhang switch naay mga status down, something like that. Kay naay something wrong with your cable. Okay na. So if the interface is up, so meaning it is connected. But if there is an issue that persists, no, maybe there is some problem. So excessive noise baka haron, no, na yung mga interferences. And then so this is what you're going to do if na ay mga interferences. So find and remove the source of the noise. So dili noise nga saba kay sanan imuhang classmate. Dili na mao nga noise. Interferences, no signal interference. Okay, so kana nagdali. Telnet operation. Okay. So kuan naman ni siya kanang lahi naman ni nga sana you will be using another kuan for this one. Ayaw na ni siya. Ako hatag og kuan ani. SSH is a secure protocol that uses TCP port 22. It provides an encrypted management connection to a remote device. So it should replace Telnet for management connection. So these are the examples of SSH encryption. So encrypted gid siya no kay gi-blur. Anyway. So this is how you configure SSH in your switch. So just again, there is a packet tracer activity for that one later. Dara, ha? So i-appeal ta ni. Taysa lang, murag na ako na skip nga packet tracer unya na lang to ha. And then the next topic, again, we have done this one in the CISCO one. So you have already configured a router in the packet tracer. So these are the commands. You configure the terminal, conft. Okay, host name, change the host name, enable secret class. All of you has CISCO one man, right? So, di na ako nabasahon, guys. No? Diretso na ta. Okay, so again, sa mga packet tracer activity, you will be given this kanang diagram. So all you have to do is follow the diagram and follow the given nga IP addresses. I do not use IP version 6. This one, kani IP version 6. Use the IP version 4 or depende sa instruction. So, di na ko nabasahon ang mga whatsoever nga command. Okay. Additional nga command, no, loopback number. So this is kanang this is to unsa man ni siya? To check, no, if the interface is up, the state of the router. Okay, that is internal to the router. It is not assigned to a physical port, internal to the router, and can never be connected to any other device. So it is considered a software interface that will be automatically placed in the connected state as long as the router is functioning. So you cannot interact with this one, no? Kung sa actual pa dili mo ka ka-configure niya, automatically it will be connected kung on imuhang or functioning imuhang router. So to check for that one, kung unsa imuhang loopback number, no kana ra pud imuhang command. Kaya tagaan ra pud kaniya kanang unsa ni kanang output. Okay? Unya another packet tracer activity. So interface verification command. So there is no point in configuring your router unless you verify the configuration and connectivity, di ba? Kanang unsa may gamit. What's the use of your router kung it's not connected well or wala siya connection nga ihatag. Wala connection. It's not connected. So this command, show command, can be used to verify the operation and configuration of the interfaces in the router. No, so we all know this, right? IP show IP interface, the brief summary of the interfaces connected to your router. Okay, kana siya. So is it unsay status niya, up or down, connected or not? And then unsa siya nga ports connected. Okay, diretso-diretso na ko ha. Murag wa kay ko nagdali, pero mao na siya. So the output of the IP route, show IP route is this one. No? So unsa nga mga ay ko. Nga mga interfaces ang connected. Okay. So you have here the labels, no? Connected, static. Dili na RIP nga rest in peace ha. Di na mao. And then version 6, ihapon ihatag ang IP version 6 address, IPv6 addresses. If you put this command, ana. Sakit na kong dunggan sa kuwang kuan. Anyway. The ping command, no, it is to check kung, for example, yeah, connection gihapon, no? Kung up or down ba gihapon. So you ping the IP addresses or if you know the site, no? Pwede pod ang site mismo, name sa site ang imong iping. Yeah. Kanang naa kay request either request timeout or success na connection or you have kanang yeah connection lagi sakto. May din ako ana. Okay, so the kanang interfaces again, filter show. Okay, if you want to know the history, no, back ang sana pangan arrow back raman na no. Kung adto ka sa command prompt, arrow back lang. O sa router, show history. Pwede na pod kay ka mag-show history. Daghana bang pakitracer ani? Reklamo na sad mo, daghan mo himuonon. And then, ayaw na ning check your understanding kay mo ana raman ka og show me. So pag show me, perfect. Okay, ako na nang gipang download ang inyuhang mga laboratory activities. Kay para inyuhan ning ma-access sa LMS and then diretso-diretso na dayon mo maghimo ha. And individual na ha. Si leader of course will do the experiment and then si individual member will answer on your own. Ha? Okay, switching concept. So we have here the frame forwarding, switching in, networking. So the concept of switching and forwarding frames, we all know frames man, right? Is universal in networking and telecommunication. So forwarding messages, forwarding packets, forwarding data, no? So there are various types of switches that is being used in local area network and wide area network and in all other topology. So the decision on how a switch forwards traffic is made based on the flow of the traffic. We cannot really imagine no kung giunsa pag-travel sa data basta kay made of signals yun na siya from digital from you no you as the sender no your data will travel and then it will be on that length on that cable it will be converted to analog, and then on the receiving side it will be converted again to its original form, which is digital. So a LAN switch maintains a table that is referenced when forwarding. So naatoy command to know sa table, no? Di na ako mag-play ana ha. Tanaw mo ani. Tanaw lang mo sa inyong time ha. So a forward method, switch learn and forward. So kani siya again ma-appreciate ni nato kung tanaw ta ani. O tanaw ya mo ana ha. Di na lang ako na i-play guys. Please, thank you. So store and forward switching, error checking. So after receiving the entire data, entire frame, the switch compares the frame. So na siya ay error detection, error detection. So na siya ay check niya ang sequence kung sakto ba in the last field of the datagram, and then iyang i-compare to the kanang um, entire frame. Automatic buffering. So the English port buffering process used by the store forward switches will provide the flexibility uh, to support any mix or Ethernet speeds. Okay, so for example, ana is the handling of an incoming frame traveling. So if it, 'di ba, ang imuhang speed, okay, kanang mas makarelate no. Kung gusto ka maghimo og kung gusto ka mag-build og imuhang PC, imuhang memory is kay ng 4 gig ra. Ya, gusto kay imuhang processor kay katong i9 the latest one unsa naman tang latest karon. Dako kay dili compatible. So same with that the traveling mo travel nga unsa ni nga frame og ang imuhang giagian niya. So kung dako ra kaayo ang the compatibility ba? So kung dili sila compatible, bisag moingon ka og paspas na ako ang processor, unya ang imuhang memory di ka daog hinay gihapon na imong system. So something like that. Kuha ra. Okay. Cut through switching. So the store and forward method drops frame that do not pass the checker, no? Dili checker sa attendance. But by contrast, the cut through may forward invalid frames because wala siya error detection. Na wala siya FCS. Unsa ganin ng FCS? Kalimot lagi ko ana. Fast frame check sequence. Wala siya, dili siya mo-perform og checking. See? Cut through, no? Ni cut through, mura man siya og ni cut through, bypass. So the switch does not have to wait for the rest of the frame to enter the port before it's being forwarded or before that that switch can decide whether to forward it or not. Okay? Oh, yan, yun na yung forward. Bahala na naging valid na diha. Balag na yung error. Activity, switch it. Dili mo makahimo ani. Kanang I mean dili ta ni apilon og tubag nya na siya. Collision domain, collision, no? So um kana. So in this figure, no, this is full duplex. Okay? And then sa man siya. Of course, again, unsa na? Compatible. Speed compatible um, duplex. A collection of interconnected switches forms a single broadcast domain. And then, di ba, we are familiar with the OSI model. So, on the network layer, no, na dito si router, and the layer 2 broadcast domain. So, the router are used to segment broadcast domains, but will also segment a collision domain. So, when a device sends a layer to broadcast, the destination address in that frame is set to ones, all to binary ones. So the layer to broadcast domain is referred to as the MAC broadcast domain. Now it consists of all the devices on that network that receive the frames from the sender or from the host. Okay, you can play this one ha in your kuan ha pila man ni ka minutes. Okay. So alleviate how to alleviate congestion. So LAN switches have the characteristics to help alleviate congestion. So by default, interconnected switch ports attempt to establish no bidirectional agianan, the full duplex, no? Therefore, of course, it will alleviate collision domains, eliminating collision domains. Each full duplex port of the switch provide a full bandwidth to the devices that is being connected to that port. Kuhara, ma-imagine ra no. So full duplex connections have increased the the performance of the network. Okay? So kana. That's interconnected switches. So switches interconnect LAN segments. So it uses MAC address table to determine kung asa siya nga port. Okay? So fast port speeds, fast eternal switching, large frame buffers, high port density. Okay? Check your understanding. Anyway, sa inyohang quiz guys nga akong i-post sa LMS dili dire diri na ako nagikuha ha sa check your understanding. Ha? So kanang i-try lang mo og answer no without pressing this show me. Okay, so frame forwarding, we all know that one that the switch will decide kung kinsa ang um unsa yung forward no depends on the flow of the traffic. And then in here we have the module quiz at 2, module 2. Okay, again tanawa ninyo, tanawa. Review di ay, sorry, ayaw lang tanawa. Answer pod panagsa. Okay, walay question, padayon ta ha. Alas 5 na. Murag tinglungag na ron. Wait sa. So, what will you learn? Naka-learn ba while reading? Explain the purpose of VLANs. And then, diretso na ta. So, a VLAN, so when you, kanang again, you can apply this one, kanang dili lang kay dagko nga network, no? Kung gusto dai mo nga i-connect inyong, that's considered as a network already. A small network. So, if you are organizing your network into smaller networks, it's not simple as putting just connecting no from the port to another port and it's not that simple. You have to configure of course. But if you use virtual LANs, no, it provides segmentation and organizational flexibility in a switch network. So you will be using switch. A group of devices within a VLAN communicate as if each device was attached to the same cable. So that's the um, ano ni, advantage of VLAN. So it is based on logical connection instead of the physical one. So as shown in this figure, unsa man ni siya? VLAN is a switch network that enables the user in this different departments. So kana siyang third floor kay for example lang ang IT diha tapos HR tapos sales. Okay, nya each one has its own VLAN. Okay, VLANs allow an administrator to segment networks based on factors such as function, theme, or the application without the regard of the physical location. Again, it's the logical that is being checked. Each VLAN is considered a separate logical network. Each VLAN in the separate building ba ni? Departments di ay dili siya in one building raman di ay ni work separately, no, independently. So asan ako dapit? um, Devices within that VLAN, no, within that network, act as if they are in their own independent network. So dili sila mag-agad, no? Even if they share a common infrastructure with other VLAN. Okay? So we have here unicast, broadcast, and multicast packets are forwarded and flooded in only to end devices within the network, within the VLAN. Okay? So, a VLAN creates a logical broadcast domain that can span multiple physical LAN segments. So, it can span mura siya og kanang dili sad siya wide but it's much more greater than a LAN nga network only. So it improves, VLAN improves network performance. Di na tayo basa ni by separating large broadcast domains into smaller ones. So that's why it can act independently. If a device in one VLAN sends a broadcast frame, all devices in that network receive that frame. But devices on the other VLANs will not. So kanang unsa na localized lang gyud siya sa iyang nga area. So using VLANs, again virtual LAN, network administrators can implement access and security policy within that group of user, within that localized specifically for IT department, for HR department, and for sa to, sales department. So ana si advantage ni VLAN. Okay, din ako ka. Okay, benefits of VLAN. So it's smaller broadcast domain, improved security, much more secure ang iyang network. Kay again, kung unsa iyang gisend sa kani nga area, dili ma-receive sa other area. Okay? Improved IT efficiency, and it can reduce cost with better for performance. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of VLAN. So default on Cisco VLAN 1. So naana siya sa kanang switch. Naagid na siya label VLAN 1. Okay. No? Okay. So that's default VLAN. So all ports are assigned to VLAN 1 by default. The native VLAN is VLAN 1. So the management VLAN is VLAN 1. So si VLAN 1 by default is the native VLAN. So kung makakita mo no, makakita di mo sa atong face to face na gyud na siya label ang switch of VLAN 1. Okay, hindi na ko nabasahon. Kapoy na ko basa. Check your understanding. Defining VLAN trunks. So VLANs would not be very useful without trunks. So it allows all VLAN traffic to propagate between the switches. So this enables devices connected to each switches, connected to different switches but the same VLAN to communicate without going through a router. So kana siya, no? Oh, as you can see sa diagram, these are all switches. Okay? Hindi na kong basa, guys. So, network without VLAN. So, asan niya gi-connect? Fast Ethernet, 0. So, when a switch receive a broadcast frame on one of its ports, so as I have said, daghan kay ng ports ang kung wala ko nasayop, 25, I don't know, din ako kahinumdum. It forwards the frame out all, daw? It forwards the frame out all other ports broadcast, except the port where the broadcast was received. So na animation here for you to understand more, no? Dili magud na to ma-imagine lang. So nice siya kay nas nagimo sila video. Unya time consuming man for me, so I will not play it. Kindly watch this one, no, in your own time. Thank you so much, especially if you want to be a network administrator. Ako, ha? So ako na tong ipang skip ang mga videos, guys. Okay, asa naman tadapit? Tagging. Hindi ko anong tagging. Voice VLAN tagging. So I'll separate VLAN is required to support voice over IP. Port 1 connects to the switch or other unsa man nga mga voice over IP devices. So it connects to that one, the port 1. Port 2, ato siya sa interface 10-100. Port 3 access port connects to the end device or the PC. Okay? So by the way, there are other switches aside sa Cisco switch, no, napoy uban nga mga switches nga manufacturer sa switch. So lahi pud to sila og mga commands. Paki-tracer dayon, unya na ni, ha? Unya na ni ang module kuan kay 1 2 3 5 5 na kabuk ang naglinya nga paki-tracer dari. So akong i-post sa inyohang LMS later ang kaning 5 lang usa. Kay mo reklamo na sad mo daghan kay mo himuon. Okay. Villain ranges din ako basaan ni guys. Kamu na lay basa na ha. Command ra bitaw na iya inyo halang gyapon nang i-apply sa inyong paki-tracer. Ayun ako pabasa palihog. Salamat. Okay, di na ko ana. Okay, data and voice villain sig balik-balik. Again, you can appreciate this one. Please help your other member nga walay paki-tracer kay mas ma-appreciate ninyo guys sa simulation. No? Makikita mo hala, oo bitaw ning kuan bitaw no ning pasa og kanang sana sobre ang kuan padulong sa kuan anas ba. So, at least maka-appreciate mo ana. Okay, this one, unsa man eh. Commands gihapon. Ako na skip. Okay? Okay. Yan, ay daghang mga paki-tracer activity. Sige lang, kaya ra na ninyo. Dynamic trunking protocol. Again, kuan, commands. No? So you can view this one kana using that one and then this one, okay? So then ako na ko anon ha. Sabta lang ko ninyo kapoy bagbasa nya basahon di gyapon sabto. Di na lang mo basa. Okay. Okay. Oh, gikausara no. So that's the content, no? If you will be reporting, ingon ato ra sa ding reporting ninyo. Ha? Yeah, make sure nga wala natulog ang other side of the world diha. Nangatulog na baya mo diha. Nagduwa og ML. Hindi na lang ko mabasa. Unsa naman pud ni diri, bi? Router na stick. Okay, so daghan kay ini siyang mga packet tracer activity. Tagsa-tagsaon lang tanig himo kay para dili tama joang og hinimo. Anyway, let me check ha. Di siya ma-open. Kay paki-tracer man. Oh, naglag na lang noon. Sige na lang. So this is sa module 1, no? Configure SSH. So again, as I have mentioned ganina, unsa ba daw na di ay? Bitaw. Tapos, nya, okay. Okay. Now again, all you have to do is follow, ha? No? Using the command prompt and chu. Katuon ta itong PDF ako ang gi-download, no? Sorry ha sayo. Di man ko ni ma-post di sa LMS ang PDF day unta to. Anyway, balik ta dere. Okay. So module 4 na ni, no? Nag-browse ra ko. Show IP, I show IP route, show IP interface brief, show interfaces. Balik-balik ra gyud guys. So sa router niya dili na pud siya sa kuan. Sa unsa ni pangan? Sa switch. Oh, router na sad ni siya. Okay, kana unta ditong kuan akong gi. Okay. So, layer 3 switch. Okay, creating VLAN na ni siya nga activity. No, VLAN 10, 20. VLAN routing na ni siya ang kani nga topic sa layer 3 nga switch. So, kana. Ako lang skip ha. Again, puro ra gyud siya paki-tracer guys nga activity. So, ayun na ako pubasahan na ha. No. Kamu na po'y basa. Okay. Kana. Issues, mga errors. So, you will know, no, kato akong i-mention ganina ba, nga, unsa iyahang status, no? You can check, unsa nga error iyahang iingon, i-show, no? Down ba siya? Up ba siya? Kana. Okay? And then, we are done. We're now in check your understanding, and after this one is the module 5. So, di na to ako. I'm done reading. Okay. 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 Humanata. Human ako. Kamu na pod. We will start. Nagmata. Sure mo ay. Nagduwa ang good mo. We will start the reporting. No, mas nindot manggod again nga atong mahuman ba kunuhay og basa. Kay para ang inyong buhato na lang is ang packet tracer kay puwerteng daghan na gyud sa packet tracer, daghan kay reklamo ang estudyante gid ana. Pero at kanang again it helps you man sad to understand kung unsang nahitabo in the kanang hala napay mosulod. Common unsang oras ang klase aning apas. Okay, let us now kay niabot si apas. Kanang mas nindot nga mo focus na lang mo sa mga activity packet tracer kay para mas dili ma-imagine oy ma-experience ninyo ma-understand nato ang okay o lagi hortilano sorry good tan-awa si apas ang natog so siya mo discuss sunod kay natulog man siya karon kapoy ra ba kog basa apas wa ka tulog-tulog ra ka okay balik na ta asa na ta to. So atong paspasan again kay basahon ra man na. No, dili man ta kasabot bisan ako ra basa ko ako kasabot sa whatever. Okay, dili man nato na masabdan kung dili nato ma-experience. Ay kung basahon lang ta na ang whatever terms diha ambot lamang. Okay? So focus ta on the packet tracer activity. Unya, again, let us help those who have not, those who don't have packet tracer simulation at home, ha? Para po maka-experience sila, uy, na day na nagdaga, whatever ang connection, no? And then, sa atong face-to-face, let's try nga ato yung ma-touch. Dili ang message, no? Ang device, ang switches, ang routers, and kato mobalik ta sa uno, mobalik tag cabling, mobalik ta og kamoy maghimo sa straight through, kamoy mohimo sa crossover, and then kamoy mo connecto. And hopefully we can do that, no? So, kato siya. Okay. Okay, nagmata pa dai sila. O, unsay nahitabo dere? Anong daghan mo comment? Okay na ta. Oy, din ako mabolso. Man ako. Okay na ko. Okay na ko sa akong
Namin
part.
na miss.
Okay. Sige, naminaw pa dahil sila. So, okay na ta ha. So, again, we will start our discussion. Ay, discussion naman. The reporting, the ECE group. So, make sure guys nga, imuhang mga kagrupo ha, imong tagaan og topic ha, kay para, dili na po ikaw ang magsigig basa nya. While nagbasa sila matugpod, may baka makabawas po sa inyo. Okay? Unya, sunod-sunod na ta. Ha? Unya, just check um, from time to time your LMS sa e-think for the packet tracer activity. Ngayon yung himuonon. Also sa mga quizzes. Again, ang mga quizzes, I will base it sa katong check your understanding and the module quizzes sa NetAcad. So, inyohan na itong i-review daan. Ay, puro man pud mo perfect na pod. Inig take na pod ninyo. So, wrong isa ninyo usa. No, kaikog, sad mo bisag usa la. Okay? Sige, maura to. Tana, uli na ta. Sige, bye na, ha?
Bye,
So,
May. Thank you,
Hindi.
May.
bye guys. See you
Thank
next
you, May.
Friday, reporter. Easy is
Thank you,
buyers.
guys.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
bye, bye, bye.